Hello, and welcome to another edition of Top 3 Metal Albums on All or None According to Jack. And as you can see, I have a guest today, Ove Rendum, direct from Norway. How are you, Ove?
I'm doing good, sir. Doing very good.
In front of your black curtain. I hear you had some guests in Norway recently, some members of Sea of Tranquility. I
Yeah, they
thought
were
I
in
saw.
Bergen on a festival, I believe.
Yeah, I think so. Who was it? Ryan Scow and what was his name? Nick. I forget his last name.
Yeah, Nick. Yeah.
Yeah, Nick. Yeah. But in any event, so did you go to the festival or no?
No, it's about 10 hours by car away. So
Oh wow, wow! You could drive 10 hours in Norway. I didn't know that.
that's just a half. You're long but slim.
Wow. Okay. Very cool. But hope it was a good metal festival for those who attended. But
Yeah, Nick was good at posting pictures, so that was fun.
yeah, no, those were some gorgeous pictures. Yeah, but in any event, so yeah, so we have to talk about 1994 today, and it was a very good year, I think, for both of us. So,
Yeah.
what's so special about 1994 for you, Ove?
Well, I was 13 and started junior high and like got into like talking to other people from different places and got into metal and the record stores and well actually it was I guess it was the last breath of the true record stores that was like when there was like a lot of them,
Wow.
so I just got in just in the nick of time.
Yeah, thank God for that. I mean, you still have some, but they're getting fewer and farther between. But it's a shame. But
Yeah.
I still love perusing them. There are still a few here. Here in the tri-state area.
Yeah, I remember I had to order my metal albums from special order from our catalogs. I just saw the titles and the year it released. There was like no picture and all, so it was really just shot in the dark,
Oh, okay. All
but it
right.
was fun.
So 1994 was an interesting year. So I was 29 then, and you were starting to see an influx of grunge music, and it was harder. It was a couple of tough years for 93, 94, those early 90 years to find good metal. But thankfully, we did our research and we found some. So, what is your first album?
My first album is my favorite album, I think, of the band still, and I will listen to this album to death and back. And it's this beauty right here.
Megadeth. Oh, okay. And what's the name of that album? I don't see a title.
It's Euthanasia.
Euthanasia. Okay, very nice. Wow.
It's a great album. Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
So
It
what can
starts with Reckoning Day, which is just pounds you in the face right off the bat. And then you got a one that's really a great title, I think. It's Train of Consequences, which
oh,
is life. Life is a train of consequences.
right.
And then you have a fantastic drum opening by our late Nick Mensa in Addicted to Chaos. And then we go over to a French one because our Mr. Dave Mustaine likes to sing a little French once in a while, A Tout le monde, which
Hmm.
was later redone with the Lacuna Coil Girl, I guess. It was supposed to be a B-side, but the record company say, oh no, we gotta have it on the album.
Hmm.
And then you got Elysia Fields, which Elysia is where the old Romans did go to after when they died in war and stuff. I love this stuff. And then I guess it's about touring called Killing Road.
Killing Road. Okay, very cool. Very
And they got
nice.
side B with Blood of Heroes. It's a really heavy, good track. I really like it. Then you got Family Tree, which is about darker things that happens between the four walls that we don't talk a lot about, but it's happened more than we like to know about. And then you got the title track, Euthanasia, which I love. It's my favorite Megadeth song ever. Then you got I Thought I Knew It All, which is a really, really good one. Then you got a heavy one again, Black Curtains. And then he finished off with a really cool one called Victory, where he actually takes titles from all his albums, from Killing Is My Business up to this, up to date, and put it in a lyric. I think is a genius thing to do.
Okay, very cool.
That's Euthanasia for me, number one.
All right. Okay, so that's good. So looks like there won't be any crossover yet. So my number one, and I will pull it up on the screen. Shoot. So it is this one.
Oh, I've seen it.
Sabotage, Handful of Rain. So I would see them a couple of years after this album. Was it mid to late 90s I saw them? In the Artist of Places, I actually ventured up to Hartford, Connecticut to see them. And they played a bunch of songs from this album, and it was just I'll go through the songs. They start off very heavy. They kind of a little bit of a departure from their usual prog metal. And also it's fair to point out that on this album, similar to the last album, Edge of Thorns, you have Zach Stevens as your lead vocalist, having taken over the lead vocals for John Oliva. So they start out with a real barn burner, Taunting Cobras. And that's actually how they open that show. Just really cool tune. Handful of Rain, the title track, quite good. Probably my favorite album on this song on this album is the third song. It's called Chance. It's a 7-minute mini epic, and it's heavy in spots. It's very melodic, and then toward the end, they go into this chorus, and it's very vocal at the end, where they have those vocals that kind of competing against each other. You got 2 or 3 guys singing one verse, 2 or 3 other guys singing another verse. Father, can you hear me? Da 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 da. Chance. Da 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 da. Chance. Great tune. Castles Burning, another song, very melodic in the middle. Nothing's Going On, where it's actually a teaser in the beginning where you hear take 6, and then it goes into it, and then again another real barn burner. I skipped the song Visions. It was an instrumental where it's kind of the theme of the album, and it's actually how it's the music that they went on stage to that night when I saw them. They go da 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 da, something like that, and then rounds out the album with Alone You Breathe. So Sabotage for me, Handful of Rain.
Yeah, remember, I've seen that artwork before. Sabotage has always had cool artwork.
Right. Speaking of Sabotage, and I had mentioned a couple episodes ago that I will be at Sea of Tranquility Fest, or SOT Fest, on October 1st in Poughkeepsie, New York, and none other than Chris Caffery, who participated on some Sabotage albums and tours. He will be there that night, and we'll be doing a Q&A with my good friend, Mr. Pete Pardo. So there's that. Okay, number 2, Ove.
Yeah. Number 2, in Norway, we didn't have the problem with grunge because we had black metal. And that came about the same time. So for me, it's Bursum. See if you can see it there.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, it's refocused, yeah. No album for that one, eh?
It's called Hvis lyset tar oss, and it means basically if the light takes us.
Oh, okay. So
I got actually banned on Facebook, or I got in a Facebook jail for posting this cover on a post
Really?
of Miles Medal. I tried to appeal, but the judge wouldn't hear it.
They have a judge for that shit?
Yeah, just you can appeal about it and say that they judged you wrong, but it's like no, they didn't see it. It was so I got restricted, but I've seen much more pictures on Facebook. So I don't know. It seems like it's a randomizer. Who do we beep with today?
Yeah. Wow.
It's a pretty long black metal album, but it got only 4 tracks.
Oh, wow.
It starts with the title track, Det som en gång var, What Once Was. It's like it is recorded like with a guitar and a little amp on a like a cassette recording to make the sound as shitty as you can get it,
Oh,
because
wow.
black metal is not to be liked by the masses. So
Right.
it's made as bad as you can make it, but the songs are great. And the guitar is, but the drums is recorded different and stuff. And it starts pretty slow, and then thunderous drums comes in, and then he starts away, and it's 14 minutes and 21 seconds of pure black metal deliciousness.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. And
Okay.
then we
So,
got If the Lights Takes Us, number 2, which continue in the same. And then we got Into the Castle of Dream, In i slottet av drømmen. And then there was supposed to be a different song, number 4. It was supposed to be, but it was changed to a synth. It's a completely synth song that has Norwegian folk melody as a ground sound, and it's like built on it, and it's very atmospheric and very beautiful, and it's called Emptiness, Tomhet.
very nice. Okay. So, so what's the name of the band again?
Bursum,
Bursum?
yeah, it's the guy that killed the guy in Mayhem.
Oh, okay. All right.
This album was this album was released after he has done the deed.
Oh, wow. Hmm.
Yeah.
Amazing. Okay. So do you have anything more to say, or shall I go on to mine?
Well, it's the really 94, 95. It's what you call a true black metal
Hmm.
spirit is really after that, like 96 and so forth. They start to like, oh, this is ain't bad to listen to. So it kind of destroyed itself. It imploded in itself. But I was lucky to get the last gist of it before the air went out of the room.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, I thank you for that. So we're going to shift to something very different. So, as I mentioned earlier, we were getting into the grunge era, and this is probably my most favorite grunge album of all. And I do consider this part of metal because it is very heavy in parts, and I think you're going to know this album once I bring it up. Sound.
Oh,
The album's called Super Unknown. Some very heavy songs, some very trippy songs. They start off right off the bat with a sound called Let Me Drown. And believe it or not, first time I ever heard this album was at Pete Pardo's house. We had some kind of barbecue or party, and he likes to bring out the CDs. Again, remember, this was 1993, so you didn't have as much, you didn't have, all these, you know, what do you call them? What the heck are they? Oh man, I'm having a brain freeze.
you got the olds, man. You got the olds.
I know I do have the olds. The site that I go to. Oh man, I apologize for that, folks. It's when you're recording live TV or live broadcast. Sometimes you can't take enough notes to, you have to be spontaneous and you have to remember things. But I didn't remember my own freaking streaming media, that social service that I use, Spotify. So back in 1993, we didn't have Spotify. It was either FM radio. There wasn't even satellite radio then. So it was either FM radio or CDs. And Pete had a lot of them even then, and that's what I listened to for the first time. And as you said, Ove, yeah, I wouldn't say it's exactly the death of music, but the profit is just not there to be had. I mean, these bands, they make. I saw a statistic where they make like a ridiculously small amount of money anytime a song is played. Like, let's take Judas Priest, Living After Midnight. When that gets played, they make what, a fraction of 1 cent. I'm talking hundreds of a fraction of 1 cent. So that does not add up to a lot. So that's why it's important to buy the CDs, buy their their shirts, and go to concerts and all that other stuff. But
Yeah.
I'm babbling. So back to the album. So Let Me Drown was the first song. Goes into a great second song, My Wave. Again, very heavy, melodic at the end. Uh, then it goes to a little bit of a slower pace in the third song, Fell on Black Days.
Oh, love
Great
that one.
tune. Oh, isn't that a great song? How
Yeah.
will I know? Yeah, Chris Cornell, the bomb. What a great vocalist. So we skip over song 4. Mailman isn't really for me, but song number 5, the title track, Super Unknown, very trippy. 6 minutes. I absolutely love it. It's probably my favorite of the favorite grunge songs. So then Black Hole Sun, probably the first song I heard on FM radio at that time. Great tune. Spoon Man, love that. Limo Wreck, The Day I Tried to Live, and then it kind of drops off from there. But this album is worth it just for those songs alone. So Soundgarden, they didn't really put out anything as good as this afterwards, but you know what? Frozen in Time, what a great tune. Oh, great album.
Yeah, it sure is. I remember I had a cousin that was uh, about he's 4 or 5 years older than me, and he had all those like Pearl Jams and Alice in Chains and
Right.
Mudhoney and Super and then Soundgarden and Stone Temple Pilots, I think, and yeah.
I mean, I am a little picky, with the bands that I like. So I like Soundgarden, I like Stone Temple Pilots, Alice in Chains. I don't care for Pearl Jam. Yeah, definitely do not. I'm not an Eddie Vedder guy. So, all right. So your third, Ove.
My third album is to my neighbor country. We're going to Sweden for it's Marduk. It's the band is called Marduk, and the album is called Opus Nocturne.
Optus Nocturne. Okay.
Opus Nocturne.
Oh,
I
oh,
guess
okay.
I guess it's Latin for the night song. I guess,
Okay.
and they had a change of lineup. They had a new drummer, and they changed up the sound and everything, and it became a really different album than their second album, Those of the Light, the year before. This is like night and day with
Mhm.
Fredrik Andersson on the drums. And it starts off with like the appearance of Spirits of Darkness. It's kind of a moody keyboardy thing. I really like it. Then it's Sulfur Souls, like sulfur, the yellow stuff.
Yep.
And it starts like it glides in from the instrumental and it just blasts you in the face with Fredrik Andersson's drums, and it just rips all the way through. So great song. I remember getting this album. I was like 14, 13 at the time. I was like, what in the world is this? This doesn't sound like anything I've heard before. And
Okay.
then we go over to a long epic or a longer epic on 8 minutes from Subterranean Throne Profound. It's a really good song. And then we have a shorter, quick song called Fundamental Reaper. And then we have the hit of the album or the song they still play called Materialized in Stone, which is a great, great song. Then we have a continuation of a song from the previous album called Wolves. This one is called Wolves Part 2, Untrodden Paths, which is continue with the same great melody. Marduk was very good with having great melody in their black metal. They didn't focus on like having it sound as shitty as you can do and like get hated by the masses. They were like more into the craft. And then you have the title track, which is really short. It's like Opus Nocturne. It's 2 minutes only. Then you have Denim, Conan, Tyron, and it's a really good one too. And it finished off with a long, nice epic on 7 minutes called The Sun Has Fallen. It's a really heavy, moody track.
Okay.
So that's my third for 1994, the
Oh, very
birth of
nice.
my metal year.
So here's a question for you. Have you ever gone to Sweden for any concerts?
I never been to Sweden on concerts, but we frequently go to Sweden for candy and food, but not
Oh,
in
okay.
concert. So
Okay.
I've been into Sweden a lot of times. Yeah,
Okay. Is it easy to cross the border between
yeah,
Norwegians? No.
yeah.
Interesting.
It's really, I mean, it's really easy. It's not like going to Canada. It's just the only thing you need to worry about is the customs to bringing home too much tobacco and alcohol. That's
Oh,
the only thing. They can take you out for like they pick you out of a line like randomly. Just it's not like everybody has to stop. So mostly you just drive. It's like for you to go from to your neighbor state and back.
yes. Yep. Yeah. Right. I know it's gotten a little tougher going into Canada, but yeah.
Yeah, they got real uptight in Canada this later couple of years. It's
Yeah.
you can't have anything on your record and anything. It's I
Right.
mean like it's no matter if you did something stupid for 20 years ago, it doesn't matter. Like I'm
Right.
like I
Well, I
find it a
hope it eases
little
up because I'm gonna want to go in in the near future because I own a home which is only about maybe what 3 or 4 hours from the border. You know.
oh wow.
Yeah.
So
Well, my second home is. My yeah.
what do you go to Canada for? Is it like do you have different foods or is it different? Is it what's
Different
the
different culture, that sort of thing. Yeah. Not I mean the food isn't that different,
okay?
but
Do
there are things you
cheaper
can
cheaper beer or different beers or
the beer's very good. That yeah, there's no question about that. So
that's good enough risk in itself.
right. But okay, so we're babbling again. Uh,
Yeah,
Ove and I are friends since I started this channel going back 8 months, and we don't get to chat this much. So this is kind of nice, and yeah. But too bad we can't get Ove over for SOT Fest. Maybe
yeah, that
one
would
of
be
these
nice.
years. Yeah,
Yeah, that would be. I'll differ. That will definitely be a goal in life to come over
right,
and go to that festival.
right. All righty. So on to my third. So let's grab it. And this is going to be another little bit of a different change, but this is going to be a little similar to Sabotage, although the I would say that the instrumentation fantastic. Dream Theater, Awake.
Oh wow!
Yeah. So this was their third album, and it came out in 1994. I was, when I first heard it for the first time, I was immediately amazed at how good they are instrumentally, with a song called Six or 6.00, which stands for 6 p.m. But instrumentally, I mean, you have James Labrie on vocals, John Petrucci guitar, Kevin Moore at the time on keyboards, John Myung on bass, and Mike Portnoy on drums and percussion. Mike has been on Sea of Tranquility a number of times, so He shares a lot of information, when he's on. And he started a great band many years later, which in a few years, once we get through a few years, I will be talking about it, about some of the new bands he started. But in any event, so you have Six, then you have Caught in a Web, another great song. Innocence Faded, uh, Erotomania, probably one of the best instrumentals that I've heard in prog metal. So let's see what else. Other highlights for me: The Mirror, Lie, Lifting Shadows of a Dream,
Oh, good song.
Starred. Yeah. So that rounds out Dream Theater Awake, and that rounds out my 3 albums. So Sabotage, Handful of Rain, Soundgarden, Super Unknown, Dream Theater Awake, which are definitely the best of the 3 of this bunch for me.
It's definitely harder than their previous album. It's
Yeah, no,
definitely
it's
harder.
definitely heavier in spots. It's and I like that. I love prog metal, but I love the heavier prog metal. So, and thank God for Dream Theater. They kind of rescued us, and they were one of the ones who helped bring metal back. Around the mid-90s, and we are going to be talking about them and other bands that kind of helped with the metal revival, as it were. So,
Yeah.
any event, do you have anything else to say before we wrap up 1994?
Yeah, there's a lot of albums that was coming out that year that you and me haven't mentioned yet, but we are taking the top 3. But I like it was a difficult choice this year, definitely,
Oh, without
because
a doubt.
there's a lot of, especially for me, since this was my beginning, and I was like, I had an older friend that introduced me to, have you heard this? Have you heard that? I'm like, I haven't heard anything. So I'm like, we could probably have done top 20 easy today, but
Right.
but that's not the point of this series, this program. This program is to make it hard on you and me to choose
Right.
our top 3.
Yeah, some years were very hard, like 1993 was very hard, but yeah,
Yeah.
in any event. So that's the year 1994. So, Ove, would you like to repeat your albums again before we sign
Yes.
off?
My number 1 is Megadeth, Euthanasia. And second one is Bursum with Lusitanos, If the Light Takes Us. Number 3 was Marduk with Opus Nocturne.
Okay. Thank you very much, Ove. And thank you for being on. We will
Yeah, it was really
definitely do
nice.
this again in the near future.
I love
So
that.
stay tuned. And this is Jack Toledano for All or Not According to Jack. If you like what I do, please subscribe. Please put your comments in the comments section. Please keep coming with your top 3 albums. This has become taken on a life of its own, and it's so much fun reading everybody else's seeing their participation and reading what their choices are. So
Absolutely.
thank you for that, and have a good one, everybody. Bye.